Hi, and welcome to this video where we're going to take your layout tabs and create your own custom template so you're not stuck always having to start with the HydraCAD template and always import your own layout tabs into that. So in this drawing, that's what the plan is. Now, one of our customers, Sean D, was kind enough to send me his template file. I'm going to open that up and you're going to notice that it's going to start off, and not only will it have the templates that he brings in, but the default ones that get brought in when you open a HydraCAD template, like 24 by 36 and 30 by 42, all these other ones that you guys, I don't know if anyone uses these, but they're always going to be there. So let's clean this up so they're not going to always be there. And we're going to always also make sure that we start off in a HydraCAD based template. Now, first off, if I take a look at this one, if I look at the properties, I'll right click this and go to my page setup manager. And we're going to notice here that this sheet size is 36 by 48. So I'll close this and I'm going to guess that this is 8.5 by 11. Oh, this is 24 by 36. Okay, so I'm glad I checked. So what we're going to do is let's rename these right off the bat so that there's not going to be no confusion. So this is going to be a 24 by 36. Now we already have a 24 by 36 over here. So let's get rid of this one. Let's delete this and we'll get rid of the 36 by 48. And we're just getting rid of the Hydrotech ones. Actually, let's get rid of a few of these. Again, it doesn't really matter at this time to do these extra steps. I'm just kind of cleaning house a little bit here so that we can be on the same page. So I'm going to go to the 36 by 48 and I'll rename this. So I'm going to rename this to 36 by 48, and this is a horizontal sheet orientation. So I'm going to add the letter H to that so that we know that the title block is along the bottom. And then I'm going to go to this one, and this will be our 24. Well, actually, this also is at the bottom, and again, it is 24 by. Let's check it again. So upon reviewing and editing the video, I noticed that the word portrait showed up on this specific layout tab, and that's because it's a portrait orientation. I think a better nomenclature to use would have been 24 by 36p, and for the other one, 36 by 48L. And I think it would have been a little bit more descriptive in that case. So for your reference, when you're creating it, try to take advantage of either H and V for horizontal and vertical, or L and P for landscape and portrait. This is 24 by 36. So we're going to call it 24 by 36, rename. 24 by 36, and this is also horizontal orientation. And if you had your title block along, like say the right side here, that would be a vertical orientation. So I would use the letter V instead of H in that situation. Okay, so these are the two templates that we're going to want to insert into a HydraCAD template and save that as a DWT file. So let's go back to the Start tab. And I'm going to open a new drawing. Or I'm going to open an existing template. So I'll click on open. And I'm going to make sure that at the bottom, now by default, when you click on file open, it's going to always try to look for DWG files because that was the last one that you used. But I'm going to switch this to files of type to be a DWT file. And this should take you to the HydraCAD folder, the version 57 folder, and we're going to select the HydraCAD Imperial Default template here. So I'm going to tell it to open this one up. And normally, if you were using a template, you would just not do anything else. It would just open up and it would ask you what's your scale factor. You would set your scale factor, you'd click OK and go forward. That's if you're using a template. We're going to be editing a template. So the key trick to do here is make sure that you do not set a scale factor. Otherwise, you're hardwiring your template to be always coming in at 8 scale. So in this case, since we're going to be editing a template, I'm going to hit cancel. So always make sure you hit cancel when you're editing a template. Now at this point, this is going to come in with all of our works layout tabs that we don't want. So I'm going to delete all of these. So I just right clicked the tab and I'll select delete. And then by default, AutoCAD will always needs one layout tab there, so that's why it creates layout number 1. All right, so now the trick is to get these two tabs, this 36 by 48H and the 24 by 36H, into this new template here. So here's a trick to this. We're going to take advantage of this tool over here called the Design Center. And I believe it's this button here. No, it isn't. It's this button here, Design Center. So you can type in the command AD Center or press Control and the number 2 or click the button. And that will load up this palette for you. Now, what we're going to do is we need to make sure that we're in the template that we want to use. So that's our current tab up here. And in here, and we also want to make sure that we have what we're pulling stuff from. We want to make sure we have that drawing open. And that way you're going to see here, there's a tab here for open drawings, and then we're going to see what's in here. So not only can you pull layout tabs, but you can pull blocks and dimensions and layers and line types and all these other parts of a drawing. You can pull them from one drawing to another drawing, and you're going to use the Design Center. I find this much simpler, and it's an AutoCAD tool, so I find it better to use this tool than to just copy paste it from one drawing to another. So first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my template, and I'll look at the layouts in there, and I can see our two templates, 24 by 36 and 36 by 48. I can hold down Control to select both of them. So I pick on one, Control click the other, that selects both, and I'm going to right click it and tell it to add layouts. And keep an eye down here when I click add layouts, it's going to add those two layouts to this drawing, which it just did. So you can see them down here. Now, if there were other things that you wanted to bring in, maybe your template drawing had different layers that were not, HydraCAD default layers, but other layers. I noticed that there's no XREF layer. So maybe if you wanted to create a new layer, you could import, if you had it in your drawing, you could import it into this new template, or you could even create it right now while you're here. Anyway, I'm going to go back here. Let's get rid of layout 1. Delete that. And now I have these two layout tabs. So here's my 24 by 36. Here's the 36 by 48. And if I go back to model space, I usually like to figure out where 0, 0 is. So maybe if you create this, and again, I don't want to mess around with Sean's drawing too much. I do notice that there's a layer called NIC here, so maybe that got pulled in from somewhere else, or that got pulled in from one of the layout tabs. But I usually like to know where the 0, 0 coordinate is. So I might just go into my error layer and draw a circle, CIRCLE, and the center point for the circle is 0, 0, and that's where 0, 0 is. And then let's make it a 5 by 5. So the diameter will be, let's say, 60 inches. So it'll be a 5-foot diameter circle near 0, 0. And this is in the error layer, so this is an innocuous layer. You can always get rid of it, but this is my little trick to know where 0, 0 is so that when you open up a drawing, you can go from there. So there we have it. We have our two layout tabs added to this template. Next thing that we want to do is save it. I do not recommend overwriting the HydraCAD template called Imperial Default. I would save it as a new file name. So let's do a file, save as. And this template is for Northeast Fire Protection. So I'm going to type out here, Northeast Fire, I'll just call it FP for now. And I'm saving it as a DWT file. So I'm going to click Save. It will ask me a few more questions here. This is a HydraTech-based Imperial template with paper space views. You can add whatever you want in here, and I'll click OK. And there we go. So now we've saved that template. It's called Northeast FP, and we're good to go. So I'm going to close this, and I'm going to close this. And now I'm going to tell it that I want to start a new drawing. So I'll hit the drop down, and it's not listed in this group. So I'm going to click on Browse Templates. And in this window, you're going to see that Northeast FP is in here. So I'll click on that one. I'll click Open. And what it does is this is a new message. Don't worry about that. You'll notice that it still asks us for the scale factor. So you can, if you're working in a quarter scale drawing, then you can just click on quarter scale and go through. If you had set it previously in the other, when we were setting this up originally, now you'd be stuck with always having an eighth scale in here. But now you can edit it or you can change it if you need to. Let's just stick with eighth scale. I'll click OK. And there we go. We see this is where 00 is. So I like to have that little point to kind of know where 00 is. And you can see that the other layout tabs are here. And that's pretty much it. So there we go. You can start now. You could import XREF, do whatever you need to for the architect's plans and bring them into this drawing. And now you have a proper HydraCAD drawing. All right. So that's all there is to it. One quick thing I want to mention in the future, you might want to just go and reset the open setting, because right now, if I go back to open, it's still looking for DWT files because that was the last one I looked for. So just switch it back to DWG files. And then now it'll take me to, whatever the draw layer is here. I'll just go back here and we'll open up this drawing here. I'll click open. And what I've done now is I've just made sure that we're looking at, it's going to look for DWG files the next time you click open. All right. So I'm hoping that this video was helpful for you. And again, let us know if you have any other questions or comments. Send an email to AutoCAD-training@hydracad.com and we can create more videos like this for you. Thanks for watching.